Hi guys, Andy Golf, my dad. Ball review time today, and today it is the Vice Pro Plus. I've actually just ordered a batch of these, and the question is, have I ordered the wrong golf ball? And in particular, have I ordered the wrong Vice ball? So let's get into the review and I'll explain. So I'll start with a little overview. The Vice Pro Plus, the last batch I ordered was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I was umming and ahhing which ball to buy for 2025. So I actually ordered 5 dozen of these so I could get the discounted order. Obviously the Vice Pro Plus market sits kind of in the middle. It's a premium ball, but it's definitely a lot cheaper than the TP5X, the Pro V1, and obviously sits above all the two-piece balls at around £1 to £2 a ball. So for me to get the deal worked out about £2.50 a ball, I had to buy the 5 dozen. But the reason I was umming and ahhing for so long was I was actually gifted some of the Vice Pros at the end of 2024. I was using these, really like the feel, but we'll go more into that into the review. So I opted for the lime green one. Here's my eyesight, like the white, but the green I definitely see a lot better when I'm out there. Definitely got Mr. Magoo eyes. So as with all my ball reviews, I like to get into performance, feel, durability. I've been to test the balls at LeisurePod dedicated venues on the GC3, and this was one of the questions which we'll go into, what kind of got me thinking, have I bought the wrong ball? But we'll get into that when we go over a little bit of data. But first up, let's get into the looks. So in terms of the looks and the box, as I noticed with the Vice Pro review I did in 2024, I like the little patterns on the top. As we said on the past review, it looks like a little aerial shot, so they've toned it down. Vice, obviously it's all renowned for being a bit more out there. The younger golfers definitely buying into the Vice, and me too. Definitely like the balls and the price. So in terms of the looks, definitely toned down from the last lime green boxes I purchased. Definitely good, clean, nice packaging. And onto the ball themselves. I know some of these will be like Marmite, some won't like it, but for my eyes, as I said, really like the visual aspect of these lime balls, or neon. But these neon balls really do stand out, especially in the fairway, in the semi-rough, or where I'm trying to look for my balls. And in the sky, I can definitely see them a lot better. Still has the line on the golf ball, saving putting a little Sharpie feeling on there. Obviously same Vice logo, just looks, feels premium. So let's get into a little bit of tech and what Vice are claiming this ball can offer, and why I opted for the Vice Pro Plus over the Vice Pro. So with the Vice Pro Plus, it's a 4-piece ball, which I've used in the past. In terms of how it differs from the Vice Pro, it's definitely a firmer ball. It says it's more for higher swing speeds, but still has the optimized or maximum amount of spin around greenside in the range. So for me, this is one reason I swing it. At the moment, the swing speed is dropping a bit, but it's still around 120, 125, probably on course when I'm smoothing, 117, 118. So that's why I opted for the Vice Pro Plus over the Vice Pro itself. So I'll just read out a couple of things so I get them right what's on the website. So in terms of spin and distance, as I just said, the Vice Pro Plus generates the highest backspin in our lineup. Short-sided yourself, pin on a slope, fast greens. The high spin rates, especially greenside, ensure perfect control. Additionally, its high-speed core delivers explosive distance off the tee, which again, we'll get into the data on there. And also, so in terms of swing speed, the compression rating of 100, the Vice Pro Plus is optimized for high swing speeds. As I said, that's one reason I opted for it, but also people in the past have definitely been put off by the claim it's just for higher swing speeds. But for this one, it's claiming there's a benefit for the lower swing speeds if you want the higher spin around the green. Lose a little bit of distance when compared to the Vice Pro or the Vice Air, but you will get that extra spin around the green. And as I've said, in terms of feel, it's definitely a firmer ball. I like the softer feel, which we'll get into. But in terms of feel from the website, delivering pure feedback, the Vice Pro Plus is a firmer 4-piece golf ball. Golfers with faster swing speeds will appreciate the controlled feel and slight resistance to compression. A firmer feel enhances confidence for these faster swing speeds, especially on approach shots and around the greens. So that's a bit of info about the ball. So as I said, I've bought 5 dozen. So we're going to go around the chipping green. We're going to go for testing a little bit of the feel with a bit of chipping and putting. So let's get on the putting chipping green and test those feels. So let's get into the feels. I know it's a firmer ball. As I said, I'm actually going to test this for feels today against the Vice Pro. This is a 2024 ball, softer golf ball. And this is one of the reasons why I question myself in terms of feel. I actually like the softer feel of the Vice Pro. Let's hit a couple. Let's go to the Vice Pro. You can hear the clicking noise. Hope you pick it up on the microphone. Definitely a much quieter noise with the Vice Pro. Obviously, doesn't really affect the performance. It's definitely a preference. In terms of feel, it feels like it, which I know it doesn't, feels just like it squashes more into the club face, where the Vice Pro Plus feels like it just pings off. I think that's just the acoustics. So as I said, I know it's a clicky feel. I've used these in the past, so in putting, it's not really going to affect my performance. It's just a question of feel. But as in my Vice Pro, I really do like that softer feel. So again, question myself, why did I go for the batch of Vice Pro Plus? But we'll do a little bit of chip in, do the testing feels. Is there a little spin performance, and we'll talk about a little bit of data as well, guys. Right, so let's do a little bit of chip in. Again, I'm going to chip with the Vice Pro Plus and the Vice Pro, at least with the colours you can make out which is which. And this is where we'll go for the first little bit of data, and it was the spin numbers that just got me questioned. One of the reasons for the question is, have I bought the wrong golf ball? One was a 7-iron, so I've tested it for my 100-yard shot, my 7-iron and the driver. So we'll go through those data numbers, and it was the spin numbers what again got me questioning. So in terms of the 100-yard shot, that's my 54. It's like a 9 o'clock swing, and on the data at the GC3, with the GC3 at Leisure Pod, it was spinning at 9,200. When I reviewed them 2-3 years ago, I was getting around 9.4, 9.5. One, my wedge is definitely getting older from when I tested it before, so the numbers were down by about 200 revs. On this one, it was spinning at about 9,200 for the 100-yard shot. So obviously with the box and the claims, this should be the most spinniest ball around here. So let's just give it a little test. So I'm here at Derby on the nice little practice ground. I'm actually downwind here. So let's just clip a few. One in terms of feel and one in terms of performance. So this one's just more the basic chip and run. Again, definitely a clippier sound. But I've actually just played 8-9 holes here at Derby, hit a few balls out on the course with it, and it was performing really well. A Duffy, that one. That's where the bounce kicks in, saves me. Right, so let's go for the Vice Pro. Again, when I tested these were spinning at around 9.3-ish, so up round similar, about 9,000 to 9.3. Again, that's gone in. But it actually, in just terms of spin, I've actually pitched that shorter, and it's tried to check, but it has actually released a little bit more. So definitely just a smidge drop of spin. That one's climbing up the face a bit, but you can see that's not the best strike. This is with my 60 as well. Again, you can see just rolling up the face a bit, so that's not the best strike, but that is definitely rolling out. So in terms of spin green side, we'll hit another one from the other side, but that's definitely 1-0 up to Vice Pro Plus. So a little confidence booster to say I might have actually bought the right ball in terms of this one. Right, let's go to a bit more chipping and we'll move on. So let's move on to a more softer landing. As Dan would say, this one's a mini 2 release, of my little mini belt buckle release. Really using the mid section of the bounce. Plenty of spin on that one. Lots of spin on that. Again, hit 2 inches behind the ball, but that is checking up. This is downwind as well. That is super impressive. It shows as well I have a tendency not to play with new balls when I'm out on my own, especially just playing. But the results, I really need to get playing with the new balls. That's why I've bought 5 dozen. Right, so Vice Pro. Again, it is my release on there. It's just rolling up the face a little bit too much. You see, there's still plenty of spin on there. Phone's ringing. Cancel. No, thank you. That's got some nip on it. You can definitely just see there. I've nipped that really well. And it has just wanted to release that a little bit more than the Vice Pro Plus. So with the claims that it's got a lot more spin around the green, I would definitely agree with that. Right, so 9,200 spin for the 100-yard shot. There's definitely plenty of spin around the green. Really impressed with the Vice Pro Plus. Even though it's the firmer feel, I get used to that. I do like the softer feel, although the softer feel did seem like it was rolling up the face a bit more. So let's get in the bunker. I'm going to give it the durability test. I hit 10 shots in the bunker and see how it performs. I know one of the faults of the Vice Pro ball, or Vice Pro Plus way back in the day, was they did scuff up a lot more, or a little bit more than the Pro V1s and TP5Xs. So let's get in the bunker, hit 10 shots, and we'll chat about the 7-iron data, which got me a little worried a bit, but I have been out on the course to give it a little test as well. So let's get into that bunker. Right guys, so we're getting to the bunker. We're going to hit 10 shots, test the durability and how much it scuffs up. But before we get into that, let's talk about the 7-iron data. And this is what was throwing a little red flag to me and got me going, have I bought the wrong ball? So let me explain. So when I was in Leisure Pod, I hit about 20, 30 balls with the 7-iron. And this is what got me a little bit concerned, is that the spin was down around 5,800 to 6,000 RPM for my 7-iron. So in terms of where I was getting the spin numbers when I reviewed the last Vice Pro Plus 3-4 years ago, it was spinning around 7.2 to 7,500. Now there's 2 things on there. One is my swing. I was getting a few toe strikes at the moment. I've been struggling with tightness in the back, too many hours doing the desk job. So I do have a tendency to stand up. I flip a little bit more than I want to. So I was getting a little bit toe strikes. So that could be one of the reasons for the decrease in spin, and also adding a couple of extra yards on there. So 1 was the toey strike, and 2, also I just got my 7-iron fixed. I've not checked the actual loft and lie, but I got my 7-iron glued back on. So was that a little factor of why the spin was down? Swing speed still around 100 miles an hour with my 7-iron, so that's where it was sitting. So that's where it was just scaring me out in terms of the spin. Was this ball going to be too low spin with the mid to longer clubs, even though I want to get my spin down because I do launch the ball high anyway? But for me, a 7-iron, I want to be spinning this at around 6,500, so dropping below 6 on the indoor sim. 1, I think it was a little swing fault. I would like to get around 6.2. So I will test that again in a couple of weeks' time, just working on my swing and definitely the body. But one thing I did do, I've just been out here at Derby and I played a par 3. I needed to hit the 7-iron. I've hit 3 balls on there and they've come out filled really nice. It's actually gotten the numbers I want to. I could feel plenty of spin in the air. I was holding up against the wind as well with a little cut shot into the wind. So there was plenty of spin on that ball. So I will test that again. Can I get the numbers up with better strikes on there? I'm not a robot, obviously. I'm not a tour pro or nowhere near like that. So strike definitely changes with me. So was that toe strike causing the drop in spin? So I'll report back on that. But that was the big concern of the main reason had I got the wrong Vice Pro ball. Okay guys, so quick update. As promised, I've been away to retest, wanted to check that spin. As I said, hit a few balls on the course, felt plenty of spin on there. So I went into Leisure Pod, retested, also just had a little swing change. For the past 2-3 months, I've been trying to hit a little draw, which for me has not been working as much. My matchups have not been good. So in terms of my path numbers, I use the GC3. I've been trying to get my path between 0 and 3 degrees into out. I actually watched a Jimmy Bullard video, and with his coaching, he was really changing and committing to that path fade. It was helping me with striking. It was actually getting me shallower, where I was trying to hit the draw path to think I'm getting shallow, but my tendency is I stand up and then I flip, a little bit of early extension. But now I've changed back to more the out to in path, so the fade, this has helped me get shallow. My strike has improved, and for those data numbers, it's put my mind to rest with the ball. So in terms of the 7-iron, club head speed 101 miles an hour, ball speed back up to 136, and in terms of the path, I like to keep it neutral-ish, so I was averaging 2.7 degrees out to in, whereas before I was looking for 2 to 3 degrees in to out, so the out to in, and that's jumped up my spin almost too much, to be honest. The spin is averaging 7,150, so it's up there. I'd like to get that back down to 650, but that's where shaft fittings can possibly come in the future, carrying at 185. So my stock for those numbers were around 188 to 190, so actually because of the slightly elevated spin, it's just dropped my carry down to 185. But really pleased with those numbers. Got to stick to the out to in path. I will do a follow-up video of how I've changed my path and how it has really helped. My strike is back to where I want it to be, so I'm never going back to that draw path. So as promised, retested, really happy with it. So back to the video, guys. So anyway, back on durability in the bunker. I'll hit 10 shots. Look at this beautiful sand here at Derby. So 10 shots, I'm gonna get onto it. Cue the music, guys. Here we go. Right guys, 10 shots here, so let's talk durability. In terms of marks, only a couple of real tiny scuffs, but I'd say that's performed really well. The only real scuff mark on there, I actually bladed one halfway through where I was hitting and the sand had gone, so I hit the base. So I've really knifed onto that one, but I think that would have happened on any ball. So in terms of how it's performed in the bunker, I'd say that survived pretty well. Just a few tiny little scuffs, but I'll see how I go over this coming season and see how they do perform in terms of durability. But for this bunker test, I'd definitely give that a pass. So finally, and the data you really want to get into, and that is driver performance. So let's get into the data. So in terms of my club speed, it has dropped a little bit. So I tried to do it as smoothly as I can to really try and concentrate on strike. So on here I was averaging 120 miles an hour club head speed. The ball speed was 176, and for me on here the spin numbers were really good. It was averaging 2,500 on spin, and it was carrying this at 320 yards. I was hitting about 5-6 degrees on the angle of attack up. The driver using, it was a Rad Speed driver. It's not really fitted for me, and it's not the hottest off the face. I can't get this smash on this driver up to 1.49, 1.5. 1, that's for me, and 1, 2, it's the efficiency of the face of that. But in terms of the numbers, the spins was good, the ball speed was good, carry distance 320. So a really good performance ball. In conclusion, guys, have I bought the right golf ball for me, and especially the right Vice Pro? I'm actually really happy with it around the greens. In terms of the spin with the 7-iron, which was worrying me when I've been out on the course today, I could see there was plenty of spin on that ball. So we're gonna go back in the studio, test it again once the body starts to free up and I get rid of those toey strikes, moving more my path to the left now to try and hit the little cuts where I've been trying to hit the little draws. So I think that will try and bring the spin up a little bit to where I want it to go to. So let me know, do you use Vice golf balls? If you do, which in the range are you using? So for me, I really do like the colour of the balls. I like the Vice range. I think for £2.50, for me, I'm not paying £4.50 for premium golf ball, especially when I'm out on my own with my eyes. If I don't hit the fairway, there's a chance. Sometimes with this firmer conditions, I'm not finding those balls. So for £4.50 a ball, I'm not playing that. If I want to use a brand new premium ball, I would definitely be sticking to the Vice Pro balls or the Vice Pro Plus balls for £2.50 when I buy the 5 dozen. The rest, when I'm out on the course, there's plenty of fantastic options out there in the £2, £1.50, £2.50 2-piece balls, or some 3-piece as well. So Vice Pro Plus 2025, really happy with it. I'll be definitely using these for the rounds coming up and for the vlogs coming up, as long as I don't lose all of the balls, but 5 dozen should keep me going through this summer. So hope you found that useful, guys. Always like doing the ball reviews. Good to get back into the ball review. So Vice Pro Plus, actually, I think I bought the right golf ball for me. Right, I'm going to go play a few holes, get this ball out on the course. Right, speak to you soon, guys. Ciao.